I'm laughing because we just had Jack, who's doing the wellbeing program. Mark Goswell, you've come in, you've gone, that dude that just did that interview sounded cool. I said, well, this is Jack right now who's panelling for us.
Yeah, I missed the start of it, and I was like, we do so much PTSD with clients and work with our work at the studio, so I'm fascinated by it. I find it interesting.
You need to listen to the podcast.
At midnight I'll be up, so that's all
right.
right.
Well, you can listen to a podcast at any time.
Yeah, I don't know how to do it. I'm not tech savvy.
You click on the computer and then click play. I'll show you.
You show me.
You dinosaurs.
Yeah, I'm not a dinosaur. I fix
It's very
people.
easy. It's very easy.
I've got tech people for that sort of stuff.
I'll get Jack to show you in a
Jack
minute.
can help me out.
Now, Mark, you're here today. You've had a giggle because you've come in and I've dropped my pen again, seriously. About the third time this morning, I've had a whinge, picked it up, and you've gone, actually, that's what we need to talk about today, is people throwing their backs out, doing what seems like quite a benign stuff. So, we have a lot of people that come into the studio that have injured themselves reaching for their laptop or reaching for their handbag or their purse, or pulling doing very menial stuff, getting a plate out of the cupboard or anything like that. Well, Kev Kellaway does it every, month or two. He does his back, and the excuse is always something really small like that. So we just take the mickey and think he's full of it, but he's telling the truth.
No, he's legit.
Sorry, Kev.
And look, part of the reason about it is it's not so much the load, it's very much the movement. And people don't realise the amount of load and pressure that we put down through the back and through the discs within the lumbar spine in terms of the movement that we do. And one of the worst things that we can do in terms of load is flexion with rotation. So not just bending forward, but bending forward and twisting. Yeah, so bending forward and twisting. So it puts an incredible amount of load in through the intervertebral discs. And to give you an equation, sort of with us just sitting here in a normal posture, it's around 120 kilos worth of load. Now,
really?
So when we're talking about biomechanical load, but when we flex and rotate, it goes to about 280 kilos worth of load into the disc, and that doesn't correlate into what you're actually picking up as well. So you pick up a 2 to 3 kilo laptop, it exponentially increases. So, and part of the other reason about it is, as we were saying, like you bend over and pick up a pen, you don't do it with thought. Now, if you were to pick up a coffee table or a fridge or something that appears to be heavy, appears to be loaded, you'll look at it, you'll assess it, you'll identify the danger, you'll prep yourself, you'll get assistance if you need. And so very few times people will actually injure themselves doing that.
Because we're thinking about the movement,
you're thinking about the movement. So if you're looking at picking up a paver out in the backyard, you'll prep it, you'll think about it, you'll move it. But if you're to pick up the spade, you don't put any thought into it. So you'll bend over, you'll reach around, you'll grab it in an awkward position, and then bang, your back goes. And
because people can slip discs and all sorts of things, can't they?
Yeah, I don't. Discs don't slip, which is a good thing, but that's another thing. They become loaded and pressure ends up on them, and they kind of expand and put pressure on nerves. But people
can hurt their discs.
People can aggravate their discs.
So, Mark, how can we avoid it then? Because we're doing these things without thinking. Have you got any rules or tips to try to stop us actually?
Yeah, look, the main thing I always say to people is avoid loaded flexion and rotation. So, as I said, if you're bending forward and then reaching around to your side, it just puts an incredible amount of pressure on your discs. Some of the other things that you can do is obviously make sure that you're balanced as much as possible. So people that tend to come into the studio that have got injuries, there'll always be a significant imbalance between their left and right in some way, shape or form. So there's a number of stretches that you can do. There's a number of releases that you can do, and the benefits of obviously coming in to see an exercise physiologist is we can show you the simplistic ways to be able to manage your body and manage your injuries. But if you have a known back injury, whenever you've got to pick anything up, flexing, like bending over and touching your toes to pick it up is fine, but just face the object in question.
Okay.
So just sort of face the object in question and bend over and pick it up.
All right, well, Mark Goswell, thank you for popping. Now, are you sure you can't slip a disc? Because when I was doing this inverted cow thing at yoga last night, I swear I felt one go.
You cannot slip a disc. I love some of the terminology that's out there, but no, you can create an aggravation to the disc, which will put pressure on a nerve, which then creates pain. But the good thing about discs that we know now is they heal. 10, 15 years ago, there was always that philosophy that once you're done, you're done. It doesn't, you're stuffed. But now these days, you can they heal.
He's the man in the know. It's Mark Goswell on 2NURFM. We'll catch up with you next week. It's 18 away from 10 on 2NURFM.
A broadcast service of the University of Newcastle.